It costs you more money to launch a shoe shine business than to buy $1 million company. Right now, you're getting great businesses at a discount.
If somebody's options are to walk away from the business to get nothing or get something,
It's get something.
it's get something.
Let's say wealth building is a marathon, which it is. This is starting the race at the finish line.
Help us understand why that is something that people should consider, why you decided to start helping people do it, and how that makes sense in the context of your journey and experience.
Yeah, for sure. So we could start roughly why, and then get into the how. So why, there's so many reasons. So there's a few that come to mind, right? Why you should own a business versus W-2, and then also why you should buy versus start, right? And so the benefits of buying versus starting is tremendous. So the stats are rough. It depends on the industry, but roughly half of all businesses fail within their first 5 years, right? The primary reasons for those failures, even though there's a bunch of opportunities and upsides in owning the business, right? You got the freedom, you got the upside income potential, product market fit, lack of product market fit, lack of cash flow are the two main things.
Okay.
Well, when you buy an existing business, if you know how to buy it properly, one that's been in business for 5 to 10 years, right? You automatically skip past the two top failures of being a business owner.
That's good. That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if 90-something% of businesses fail in certain industries, at least 50% of businesses fail in 5 years, and only 4% of businesses ever hit $1 million, why not just buy a $1 million business that has been around for 5 years?
So
You guarantee your success.
yeah.
So that's one of the main reasons. The second reason about buying versus building is that right now we are in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right? And so think about kind of the crash in 2008 with real estate and stocks. You get Bank of America stock for $1, and it's never going to happen again.
Right.
A similar thing is happening now, just based on X factors. So how the population worked is, right now, a lot of the people who own businesses are baby boomers.
Yep.
And they're getting ready to retire.
Like 10,000 a day or something like that.
10,000 a day. There are 5 million businesses that are going up over the next 5 years. My grandfather, in fact, owned a landscaping business for years, over 10 years, had contracts with the cities and everything, over 100 clients. When he retired, he just walked away from it.
Just abandoned it. Yeah.
And so that's happening every single day across every major city in America. And so how you buy, there's 3 ways to make money on a business. We'll come back to that. But one of the ways is buying at a deal, buying below retail.
Okay.
And so why now is an important time? Because right now you're getting great businesses at a discount, like Bank of America for $1.
Why is that? Why are we getting the great business at a discount?
Right. Because they're supply demand, right? So there's so many businesses shutting down for good reasons. So there's distressed businesses and there's successful businesses with distressed sellers. That's the one you want. And so there are people who have profitable long-term businesses, repeating customer base, great relationships in the community, but the guy just had a hip replacement surgery.
Gotcha.
They're retiring. They're tired of working for 20 years. Their kids live in another city, right? We're in a transient city now. Now you don't necessarily live where you grew up, right? You move to best opportunities. So even though you'd like to pass down to your willing and able kid, are they going to relocate their family from 5 states over to come run this business? No.
Right.
And so there's just a ton of opportunities right now in the supply-demand inefficiencies or inequalities.
Gotcha. It's interesting because it's easy to understand the concept of buying a distressed stock because the market is down or turmoil or something happened with the CEO, or buying a distressed real estate deal. But the same concepts apply here. But I think it's harder for people to conceptualize that they can do it, right?
Yep.
To the points that you just alluded to, if you say your grandfather, somebody's options are to walk away from the business to get nothing,
right,
or get something.
Get something, right? It's get something.
It's get something.
I'm leaving with something.
Yeah, right. I'm leaving with something.
Yeah,
something exactly
right, right. That's exactly it. So like that's the amazing part. It's kind of like buying real estate, right? And so there's 4 main ways you make money in this whole thing. The part we've been talking about, the first one is you buy it below retail. That's the first step.
Right.
The second step is you walk into cash flow from day one. So if you start a business, typically the first 3 years, you ain't making no money,
Right.
right? You're reinvesting into the growth of the company. You're going from no revenue to a couple $1,000s to maybe 100,000,
Right.
million if you're successful.
Yeah.
Well, if you buy a business, and we'll talk about what that typically look like, you're stepping into how we like to teach it, 6 figures on day one. The kind of adjacent 2.B is you also walk into accelerated tax benefits, right? And so now you have the SEPs and the max RAs. You could pay your kid because you're walking into something that already has the basis enough to maximize those deductions, right? Versus starting from scratch. You'd have to wait years to get to,
Right before you
to
can
the
start
point.
prioritizing your personal wealth.
100%. And then the third way is when you sell. So you could buy it from below and sell at a multiple. So if you think about a house, right? If you buy $1 million home in most cities, you have a nice home, right? But if you buy $1 million home for $700K, you have a nice house and you walk into equity.
Yeah.
It's the same thing happening right now with businesses where you're able to buy a nice business below retail at a really good discount. So, baked in, you're removing a ton of the risk.
It almost makes starting a new business seem a bit irresponsible and arrogant.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you said like 80 to 90% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. You a new business owner, you don't know what you're doing, right? Let alone, you're probably good at the skill, but you're not good at being a business owner because you never had a business. So if I want to enter a certain industry, let's say I want to be a financial advisor, I could start my own practice with 0 clients, ask my family and friends if they have money.
Right.
Or I can just look at somebody who's older, has a book of business that he doesn't want to manage anymore.
Yeah.
And now, here's the beautiful part. I know you thought about this. It just happened to me in real time. If you buy the right business that's aligned to what you love to do, all you really have to do is what you're good at.
Right.
100%.
Because the infrastructure has been built for you.
Right.
So if you're good at financial advising and you buy a book of business, you just need to advise.
Yeah.
Because the CRM's in place, the operations are in place, and some of the people are still in place. So it allows people to do what the email for Visited was trying to say and just live in your zone of genius.
No, that's 100% true. And I think where the limiting belief probably comes into Carter's point, real estate, we get it. You can buy property in the Midwest, 50,000 stocks, right? Cool, it's on sale. You can fractional shares, you can get into it for hundreds of dollars if not less than that. Business, people think, oh, it's 6 figures or $1 million. So let's get into the how, right? So let's talk about the different ways in which people can acquire this business, because I think that's probably the biggest limiting belief. There's just an assumption that it's a business. And you said, I'm going to buy $1 million business. It's been around for a while. How and where am I getting the money to even do this thing?
100%. So a key equation in building wealth through acquisition is this concept called law. Leverage and arbitrage equals wealth. Those are the two most important.
These acronyms, man.
Come on.
You got to have them. Leverage and arbitrage is your key to wealth, right? And so leverage is essentially your ability in this thing, your ability to put a little bit down and access more than you have, right? And so I read this book when I met a mentor a while back that taught me about the leverage buyout, mergers and acquisitions, private equity. And he made me read a book, Barbarians at the Gate. And in that book, they said a crazy statement early on. And it was essentially, it costs you more money to launch a shoe shine business than to buy $1 million company. And the concept is because if you have to start a shoe shine business, you got to put all the money up. So even if it's 10 grand, it's your 10 grand. If you buy $1 million business, you only have to put 10% down to tap into the other 90%.
This is like supercharging just like anything else. You're buying down ignorance.
Right.
Yep. How I like to look at it is, because I like that, I've learned about the ignorance tax, one of the most expensive things. And so what I like to think about this is, let's say wealth building is a marathon, which it is. This is starting the race at the finish line. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is how you time lapse. This is how you jump ahead.
Yeah.
Right? This is how you accomplish 5 years worth of work in 6 months. This is a cheat code, bro.
Yeah. So you mentioned that, we're at a time right now, once in a lifetime opportunity where all these businesses are going on sale very, very soon. Supply and demand. You can get these businesses at a discount because there's more supply and then demand. My people at home who are demanding, where do they find the supply?
Right.
Yeah. How do you source these deals?
Yeah.
Good question. So there's on market and off market.
Okay.
On market makes it easier. So there's pros and cons. So on market are like listing websites. Biz Buy Sell,
Acquire.com,
Acquire.com, stuff like that, SMB market. These aggregate listings for you, and typically they are represented by a business broker, right? And so a business broker or investment banker, what they do, they work off a commission, almost like in real estate. It's very similar, like in real estate, where they help the owner of the business prepare their business, and they get a 8 to 15% commission.
Gotcha.
The other way is off market, in which Julio's Lawn Service is just about to end.
Yeah.
Right. And just about to go out of business. There's pros and cons to both. The one that's represented by a broker will be more put together because they have a 60 to 90-day process where they gather all the financials, make sure the contracts are in place, they validate the info. The downside is you're less likely to get a deal.
Everybody knows about it.
The broker knows the market. And like, nah, Julio, your thing is worth more than that, right? And so, like,
you're talking to Julio, sitting him down, like, no, bro, you wasn't selling for what? Like, get Julio. No,
I need my 10% to be off of this, right? Not that. So that's one thing. And so the other side now is you often could start with who you work with, right? And so you talked about your landscaping team missing the mark, coming back trying to get money. It's like, hey, dude, I'm an investor. I have established a lot of experience in online marketing, and I run a team of this. I'm looking to invest in local businesses. We have an existing relationship. Have you ever thought about bringing on an investor or selling part of your business? And just having that conversation, right? There's no business broker. This business owner likely is about to get, I'm leaving here with something, or it maximizing. It's just a more friendlier negotiation, but the downside is he doesn't have his stuff together yet, and so you're going to have to go through that. And so if you have time, that's a better avenue. But for most people starting off, as long as you're paying 2 to 3 times or 2 to 4 times multiple, it's probably faster to go the route of an online broker.
Gotcha. It's almost like, again, using real estate as an example, it's like if you buy the pretty house that's brand new, right, you're going to pay retail, right, for the house. If you're willing to put in the work, put in the distress house, do some renovations, fix and flip, right, you'll have more margin in the exit, but it is going to take time. It's going to take work. It's going to take a little more expertise. So same thing. It's the principles seem to be universal across
ABS, acquire equity in something, in an asset, right? And so this case, business or real estate. Build up the value of it. In this case, business or real estate. Eventually sell some of it. In this case, business or ABS is the fundamental blueprint for building wealth. Acquire, build, sell.
Acquire, build, sell.
And to your point, like, this is like buying real estate in 08, right? Like, the market crash.
And again.
Yeah, market crash. And
in it now. Don't y'all worry. Me and Gamal about to get to work.
Yeah.
There are going to be people. There are going to be people who are watching this, and they're going to be like, "That sounds like a good idea," and they're going to wait. And then their landscaping company, their pool cleaning companies, all of a sudden just going to be like, "Hey, we're shutting down," and they're going to miss the opportunity.
Like, dang, I could have.
Yeah.
And then 2 years from now, when people like us go and scoop them all up, this is not going to happen again. And now you're going to go back to, because multiples were just 4 to 6. 6 to 8. Like 3 years ago. Like right now, there's so much supply that it is literally at a discount. This is like all-time low opportunity.
Right. And that's on the acquiring side. But then we know when it's time to sell, we'll be able to get it back up.
Because 2 to 3 on
equity.
Exactly.
Because it's waves, right? And so right now we're in a market where the deals are happening. But after, by 2030, when there's no more huge drop or huge demand in supply, then the market's going to be back in equilibrium, and so the prices of the business are going to be back where it should be.
Yeah, and by that time we're in the background aggregating. And it's like, oh, market's back.
Yeah, we didn't triple our investment.
Facts. I love that. So actually, I'll announce it on the podcast. So me and Gamal actually working on some cool stuff. One, for those of y'all who don't know, if you're a client of Melon and Money, is actually a strategic partnership we have. If you are looking to acquire a business, that's just a relationship that we've established. So if you are a client, you already know. If you're not a client, now you know. If you want to become a client, that's a path to do so. And of course, you can always work with Gamal directly. We'll put his information in the show notes as well. Give us a specialized link just so that we can know you came from the Melon and Money fam. But what we're going to do to dispel the limiting beliefs is we're going to start doing some more acquiring and invite you guys along for the journey, right? So that way you guys can see firsthand what it looks like, what it takes. And so that way you literally get a live case study. And if you want more help, then of course you can hire us to work with us. And then when you get the money from the acquisition of the cash flow, you need a financial advisor. right?
Bro,
CFDA will be.
It's a flywheel, right?
Flywheel.
We
Yeah.
help them make more money or take their money and make their money multiply, right?
Yep.
And so instead of having that 200K salary, you take a portion of that and you now make more from your passive income. They give that to you. Y'all triple that money. And it's just the business they now own. They can maximize deductions.
The deductions, and then help them get a tax refund. Then I got another. Now they have a tax refund to invest in the next business.
Right. And so now they can do, the set plans. Now they can pay their kids $12K. Now they could purchase a vehicle. They open up all these other deductions. And so taking some money, making more with it, putting it in the stock market, being able to save more money on taxes. You go from what's y'all tagline? Making 50, save
That's a 50.
Now it's like 150.
Yeah.
Facts. So we're really excited about this because, like, when most people, when they see us, they think like, oh, they only help the super entrepreneurs. I didn't even think to reach out. But what we're finding is there are some very, some successful, high income earning W-2 earners, and this model is the perfect fit for them, right? They come to us, they get that foundation in place, they have the foresight to understand, okay, this is gonna be my path to building wealth is through acquisition. Then they partner with you. Then they are making more money than they need. Then they implement the strategies like you just mentioned, and it's just a beautiful thing. So if you're a high income earning W-2 earner and you're like, man, you're looking for that thing that you could do and you didn't want to go start a whole business, guess what?